Everyone fights, no one runs. Welcome to the Kill It podcast, where I, Christopher Bob Roberts, explain how I became healthy, wealthy, and happy by being ruthless with my friends, family, customers, and especially myself. And today I am going to ask you which emotion you are choosing. You see, I got the idea for this episode from a story that I must have read in the 6th or 7th grade. And the idea was basically there was a guy who would skydive back in, let's say, the 1920s at fairs and, things like that. What he did is he had like a hot air balloon. Hot air rises, so of course if he sits in a little bench hanging from the bottom of the balloon, he would also rise with the hot air. And what he did is he had a parachute that was just hanging down. It wasn't packed. And at the top of the balloon was a rope tied to a sandbag at the other end. So the idea is basically you would fill the balloon with hot air. It would rise, bring him up into the air. He would jump off of the bench. Okay, his parachute would open. He'd hit the ground. Everyone would clap. Wow, cool. It's a paratrooper or skydiver, I suppose, since they're civilians. And as he jumped off the bench, the sandbag that's hanging by a rope attached to the top of the balloon would turn the balloon upside down, which meant all the hot air came out and would fall to the ground. So they wouldn't have to wait for, the air to cool down and for the balloon to finally come to a rest on the ground somewhere miles and miles away. So the story began when he was doing one of his little tricks, one of his little stunts. He was, sitting on his bench, starting to rise up into the air, and a little kid from the crowd, just as he was about to take off, ran up and grabbed onto the sandbag that was hanging from the rope that was hanging from the top of the balloon. And he, of course, couldn't do anything about the kid because, he's in the bench and the sandbag's off to the side, so he couldn't reach him. Nobody was able to stop the kid, so now the kid's stuck. The kid is hanging from the sandbag that is going to turn the balloon upside down so it plummets to the ground as soon as the guy jumps. Now, that wasn't really too big of a problem because the guy knew, like I said, as soon as the air starts to cool down, it's going to start to sink down to the ground, and eventually he's going to set down somewhere nice and gently. Okay, it's a slow process. But the problem is you've got this little kid who is now rethinking that decision to grab onto the sandbag because he is hundreds of feet up in the air, looking down. He's scared. He's a little kid. He's not an Olympic gymnast, so his muscles aren't exactly trained to hold on to this sandbag. So there are a couple possibilities here. Either A, the kid's going to get scared and let go and plummet to his death, or perhaps the kid is just, going to be so tired that his muscles can't handle it anymore, and he plummets to his death. So the guy's thinking to himself, he's like, come on, you got to hold on. You're okay. You hold on. I'm scared. You got to hold on. You got to hold on. I'm scared. You got to hold on. My muscles are tired. I'm not going to be able to hold on much longer. I'm slipping. I'm scared. And then all of a sudden, something profound happened. And this is probably the reason why I remember this story so many years later. The guy said he thought to himself, a human can only have one emotion at a time. And right now, this kid is scared of heights, and he's scared that his muscles are starting to weaken, and he's starting to panic. So what if he were to go ahead and replace that fear of falling with another fear? So he's like, I'm scared, hold on, I'm scared, you'll just keep holding on. He's like, listen, stop it right now. If you let go, you are in so much trouble. I am going to take you, I'm going to spank you, I'm going to tell your mother you were a bad boy. If you let go of that, I am going to get you in so much trouble, you are never, ever, ever going to forget about this. Everybody's going to know you're a bad boy. Everybody's going to know what you did. I'm going to take you, I'm going to spank you. You are going to be in so much trouble. Now, the idea was obviously that the kid was scared of heights and scared because his muscles were getting tired, but all that would go away if the kid was more scared of the guy than he was of falling, of heights. He would forget that he's up there, in the air. He would forget everything if he would just make him more scared of himself, right? He would make the kid more scared of the guy in the parachute than he would of falling. So that's basically what he did. The whole time, instead of trying to plead with him and like, oh, please hold on, and please, you're going to be okay, he was just basically telling him what trouble he would be in if he let go, what trouble he's going to be in if he doesn't hold on. And apparently, at least according to the story, he did that the entire time until, like I said, the air cooled down, the balloon started to sink, and it finally came down to the ground. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because, as a lot of you people know, I am, a big believer in, let's call it the law of attraction or manifestation. I mean, I don't think it's a magical power. I don't think that it's, something special, but I do believe that your attitude affects your habits, your actions, and because of that, your attitude really affects your future. Okay? The most important thing about being successful, whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, is maintaining your motivation, maintaining your positive mindset, allowing yourself to, not be discouraged, allowing yourself to continue to think positively about what it is you're doing, to keep your eye on the prize, to keep your eye on the pie, as they say. A lot of people start to work out, and then a couple of days later, they're like, man, I really don't feel like that. I'd much rather go ahead and watch Netflix. Oh, man, I'd much rather not eat, chicken and almonds or, steak and eggs. I'd much rather have a big pizza or a cupcake or something. Oh, I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up and watch some more Netflix. I don't want to get up early because I stayed up all night. So basically, as I say, mindset is everything. Whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, the fact of the matter is it is almost 100% of the time a person's inability to maintain a positive mindset, to think about how excited he is about the results he's going to get, the process he's going to get. And because you start thinking negatively, you lack motivation, you lack discipline, you don't care about your result anymore, you don't think about your result anymore, you just think about everything you can't have. And because of that, you stop. The diet didn't fail, you failed to stick to the diet. The workout worked, you didn't work the workout. You could have become a doctor. You just dropped out of high school before you got to college, before you got to medical school, before you did your internship. Okay? Mindset truly is everything. So my question for you is, what emotion are you choosing? Are you thinking to yourself, man, fuck this, I don't want to go to the gym today. Man, fuck chicken and almonds, fuck steak and eggs. I really just want to sit down and bury myself in a big pizza. I don't want to go to the gym today. I don't want to go to school today. Whatever it is that your goal is, are you thinking about the exact opposite? Are you thinking negatively? Are you thinking about how you do not want to do that? Or are you choosing the emotion that is positive and that will actually get you to your goal? I'll tell you, when I've made the greatest transformations in my body, I would be at work and I would be thinking to myself, man, can't wait until I get off work. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get a good ass workout in. Last week I did this. So this week I'm raising the stakes, doing a little bit more. Or when I was doing my weighted calisthenics, I'd be like, if I can put another 1.25 pound plate on each side of the deadlift bar, that's going to be another 2.5 pounds. And 2.5 pounds times 4, that's meaning if I keep this up, I'm going to put another 10 pounds on my deadlift this month. That's literally what I lived for. That's literally what I thought about. I couldn't think about, I don't want to do this. I couldn't think about eating pizza because I was so excited to do what I had to do to get what I wanted. Instead of thinking all these negative thoughts like, I wish I could have some pizza, man. I really want pizza. It's like, man, I'm like getting in pretty good shape now with this chicken and almonds, man. Like I can't wait until I eat some more chicken and almonds. Man, I can't wait. I'm in the gym and I'm like, killing it right now. It's like, man, after this, just a couple more sets, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go home. I'm going to have some steak. I'm going to have some eggs. I'm going to go ahead and have like a really good meal. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to go ahead and stretch out a little bit more when I get back. Like that guy said in that story that I read so many decades ago, you can only have one emotion at a time. That little kid could have been afraid of falling, in which case he probably would have fell. He could have been afraid of, he could have been just thinking the whole time about how tired his muscles are, in which case they would have gotten more tired, or they would have perceived to be more tired. They would have fallen to his death. But instead, the guy decided, hey, it's a fact. You can only have one emotion at a time. You can only have one thought in your head at a time. Let's go ahead and give this kid the thought that will help him to hold on. And he saved his life. So I want you to save your own life. I don't mean save your own life as in not dying, because let's face it, you're going to die anyway. But to save your own life as in not wasting the time between now and when you actually do die. You could think something negatively because that is not going to get you to your goal, that's going to destroy your motivation, that's going to gnaw at your discipline, make everything harder if you succeed at all. And you're not going to succeed to the point that you would if you had been positively passionate about the process that will get you to your goal. Or you could choose instead to think an emotion that will keep you in a positive state of mind, that will keep you on your daily schedule, that will get you to your goal. It's entirely up to you. Mindset's everything. The diet, the workout, the path to becoming a doctor, getting out of debt, building wealth, it all works if you work it. And your prevailing mindset, the thoughts you think the most often, are the ones that are going to shape your current reality, which is where you put the work in to create your future reality. So choose wisely which one single emotion you are going to be having, because you can be in really bad places. You could literally be in a prison camp. You could literally be in a hospital bed. And as bad as those things are, you still have control over your own thoughts. You still have control over your own emotions. And it's never going to make anything better by concentrating on negative rather than positive emotions. So make sure you go to ChristopherBobRoberts.com, where you will find links to every platform on which the Kill It podcast can be found, as well as links to all my social media accounts and an application for my one-on-one coaching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kill It podcast wherever you prefer to listen to podcasts, and also check out the Brotherhood of Beasts, my group coaching program on brotherhoodofbeasts.com. Aside from that, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next episode.